It's time for Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Norm Ordez.
All right. Good morning and welcome to Clubhouse Chatter. I'm Norm. That is producer Brian. And man, it's a somber Sunday morning. Most of you saw the picture of Jose Fernandez coming in. We will chat about that once we're done chatting with Mr. Eddie Braun. And Eddie, you're back and man, you're doing well.
Hey, Norm. Hey, Brian. How are you, gentlemen?
We're good. And yourself?
I'm great. I actually made it to the other side of the canyon in one piece.
Yes, you did. And you were able to walk away from that jump.
Yeah.
And so that is, I'm excited. And I was telling you yesterday, my wife is absolutely she's annoyed with me now because this is something that I can't quit talking about. Growing up in Kimberly, all your life, you hear about Evel Knievel, his attempt on the canyon, and you see and you go hang out at the jump site, and growing up 4 miles from where you made, your successful jump, it's kind of a big deal. And, you did it.
Well, let's start out with this. In the scheme of things in life, what I did was akin to taking a water barrel over the Niagara Falls. I mean, let's face it, we're not solving world health. We're not. There are bigger problems in the world.
Absolutely.
But as a mind distraction, as a 2 minutes, wow, something cool, for me, especially for me, because I grew up, Evel Knievel was my idol, to be able to finish out what he started, at least to me in my little world, is a big deal. It's just kind of a cool thing. Again, I'm not solving world health. I'm not doing, but maybe for 2 seconds there, people that were Evel Knievel fans would say, you know what, that's pretty cool. He actually finished it out, and hopefully I did it justice. I mean, it's not what I did so much that should count. It's how I did it. I mean, I'm not Evel Knievel. There's only one Evel Knievel. I'm certainly not him. But I got to finish out. I was the kid that he inspired, and I got to finish out. It'd be almost like I put it towards Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. He gets hurt, right? They call some no-name loser third round, guy, third stringer from the locker room and say, dude, get out there. We're down by something. Get out there. And anyway, so I finished out the game for Evel Knievel, and we all won. That's how I kind of look at it. It's just, it's very I'm proud inside. I was able to do it, and I think I was able to do it right. And that really means a lot to me, at least.
And it means a lot to a lot of people, and that's, like you said, it's not that you successfully made the jump. It's the way you did it. You did it with class. There is no doubt that Evel Knievel is smiling, because, this was his baby. He might be a little upset that somebody else did it, but I honestly think he's smiling because it's done.
Well, the highest compliment, other than my 4 kids, which that's really all that matters to me, but the highest compliment I could have got, what someone else would have thought of it, is I actually almost choked up and got into tears. I overheard Crystal Knievel, Evel's wife. I overheard her in an interview, and someone had asked her, hey, what do you think Evel would think about this? And, obviously being his wife, she's known him, knows how he would react. And I overheard her say that Evel would be extremely proud and he'd be really, really excited to see this. And I almost got choked up. I mean, when you hear that your idol, your childhood idol, would be proud of you and be really excited for you, how do you put that into words? That feeling, I was started bawling like a little child again, man. It was like, I don't know. I had Evel's grandson, his little grandson, send me, write a little note, and said he wanted to be me for Halloween. I mean, those things are pricey. Evel's little grandson wants to be me for Halloween.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, those are the byproducts that you can't. I would have never guessed that sort of thing. I would have never anticipated that sort of thing. But you know what? It feels really good inside to hear it.
Right. It definitely is a feel-good story. And
well, if I made his family proud, I guess. And listen, they're those Knievels. They are not a bunch that you can easily please. I've learned that. But if I made that family happy, and I made, more importantly, my family happy, then I've done I've done all I could do.
Well, you did it the right way, and you did it your way. You didn't sell out, and
well, Norm, it's funny you bring that up, because believe it or not, I've gotten tons of, I won't call it hate mail and such, but I'll call it like disappointment mail.
Yep.
It's like people saying, well, you didn't let people in on it. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. We wanted to see it on TV. We wanted to see it live. And, if those people only knew the story of what it took to even get it done, I think they'd be a little more sympathetic to me.
Right.
First of all, I could have went and had it be a TV spectacle, right? It could have been a live TV spectacle. Here's the problems, right, which people don't realize. TV, it's all about money and commerce. And they didn't want just the Evel Knievel story, because that's not sexy enough to them. I mean, it might have been to the 50 and 40-year-olds, but to the younger generation, it's just not sexy enough for them. So they wanted it, they said, we need to make this real sexy. And they started turning it into they wanted to turn it into a Kardashian reality show, right? Now, if I took their money and said, yes, I want it all, one executive even told me, you'll be in every sports bar across America. And I thought to myself, first of all, that doesn't appeal to me. I don't care, for starters. But the minute you accept their money, you become an employee. You no longer have a say-so. It's going to be ultimately what they want. And places such as Red Bull or Monster, all these places wanted to throw money at it, but then it becomes a Red Bull rocket or a Monster rocket or a Nitro. I even painted how I wanted it. I turned down, and I'm not a rich guy, right? I turned down $2 million, okay? $2 million I turned down. It's a fortune for just my parachute, okay, Norm? They wanted to make an ad out of my parachute. And I thought to myself, God, that's a lot of money, and that could more than pay for this project. I thought to myself, do I really want to see a brought to you by, or do I want to see an American flag? Plain and simple, an American flag. That's all I wanted to see. And that cost me to see that. But you know what? It's great. I'm proud of it, and it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes. I've been rich, and I've been poor. Right now, I'm in the poor stages, but that's okay. I sleep really good at night. I mean, it might be on a park bench, but I do sleep well at night because my kids are proud, and I'm proud of the way I did it. So people don't understand. The next point is the locals there in Idaho. We wanted to come see it. You did it on private land. You didn't invite anybody. Well, here's the issue. I'm funding this whole thing out of my pocket, right?
Right.
I could barely afford to finish it out. I mean, that rocket got to the other side of the canyon on fumes, literally, because I was out of money. Now, I would have loved to have everybody there, but who is going to pay? Who's going to be responsible? Who's going to pay the liability insurance for everybody showing up? Who's going to pay the city bill for traffic control and police? Who is going to foot that? Everybody wants to come enjoy it, and I wish they could, but Norm, who is going to be responsible and pay the bill for that?
Right.
I just can't. I had a hard enough time just finishing this out. I could never have done it if I had to please everybody in doing so. But here's the beauty, Norm. I didn't do it for everybody. I didn't do it for the public adulation. I did it for reasons deep within, not outside. So people may or may not get it, and that's okay, because guess what? I can do it for them.
Well, we get it, and man, it was it was amazing. It really was. And I want to chat a little bit about being in the cockpit before launch, and you talked about that you had a playlist, and so how long actually before the launch were you in the cockpit? How long were you sitting there?
Well, first of all, let's start with saying that thing is a bomb. What I actually did was ride a controlled explosion across a canyon.
Okay.
The thing was a bomb, and nobody should be near that thing. So
right.
it takes a while to load me. I had one of my dearest stuntman, load me in. He's loaded me into several cars before. I mean, the routine is basically the same. The conditions are different. But, I mean, this gentleman has loaded me into cars that were bombed. He's loaded me into also buildings that were bombs, So I sat there, and then once I was loaded, he cleared away, and pretty soon I'm sitting there in a rocket all by myself, and I can look around, and I can see all the people in the distance, and, they're a safe distance away, and I probably should be a safe distance away, but I'm not. I'm strapped to the thing. Then it's really about routine. I know what I got to do. I got to hit some switches. We got cameras rolling. I mean, it's almost like at work. You're under the pressure, but you just have a job to do. You got to do certain things. So there wasn't a lot of time for me to reflect, other than, I'm not an idiot. I realized that in the back of my mind somewhere, that very well could be my last day here on this earth.
Right.
And that does go through my mind for about 2 seconds. Believe me, when I hit that button, I thought for a second, this might really be a bad idea. But, again, I'm not an idiot. I've done stunts for over 30 years. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think I had a very high probability of finishing it out.
And so you hit the switch.
Boy, yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, you got up in a hurry. Holy cow.
Yeah, the all the data is now coming in. Apparently, I went to about 438 miles an hour in like 3.9 seconds, something
Good
like that.
Lord.
And went through about 7.8 Gs.
And you kept your bearings. Were you on the verge of blacking out?
I felt, have you ever been punched really hard, like almost where you're going to get knocked out, you feel woozy?
Right.
Okay, that's what it felt like to me, except prolonged. It was like a knockout punch that kind of lingered for a while. You got to understand, there are some very important things I had to keep aware of. And that's also one of the reasons I had my parachute handles painted red, white, blue. I can remember that order, even days.
Right.
But one of the main things I needed to keep aware of, and I couldn't hear very well over the communications, I had to first make sure that I cleared the tower in one direction. I heard that. You cleared the tower. I said, okay, good. So I know I got that far. The other one was I did not want to I didn't want to be like, if you've ever seen a bottle rocket go astray, it happens really quick, and they hook right or hook left,
right,
and then it's over. And I wanted to make sure I was still going in the straight direction, either that or say my prayers really quick, because it would be over really quick. But the first thing that the parachute guys had told me is you cannot release the parachute if you're tumbling. You'll just get tangled up in it. So I saw an onboard video of me, a close-up of me, and if you look at that, you can see my eyeballs are going left and right. What I'm doing is scanning the horizon, trying to see which way is up and down and which way I'm traveling. because I dare not release the parachute if I'm tumbling. That would not have been a good thing. Or at least time it out to release it on the upside of the tumble so I didn't roll right back into it. So that's the first thing I'm doing, is checking the horizon, and you can clearly see that by my eyes. Once I realize that I'm going in the right direction, although I'm spiraling, I'll say, I know I can release the parachute. I release one of the first chutes, which slows me down a bit before I can release my main. I guess the only time I'm rather unemotional when I'm working. I just try and take care of business. I think I broke character of that at when I finally realized I actually was going to live. You'll see me throw a little thumbs up, and I'm like, wow, I'm actually going to live through this. And I couldn't help but be really excited. You can't see my grin because I have a full face helmet on, but I'm grinning from ear to ear, thinking I'm actually surviving this. So that was the first emotional moment for about a split second, because then I realized I'm coming in way too fast, right? So the last communication, I seriously thought I was going to break both of my legs. My last communication before I hit was, I'm coming in hot, and this is going to hurt. But I'm still happy. I mean, 2 broken legs are acceptable. They're not pleasant. But
You're alive. You're alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So once I had that little thumbs up emotion, it was kind of back down to business, because I still got this rocket coming in hot, and it's going to hurt. And I hit, didn't break my legs, got winded for a minute, and realized I had actually got to the other side of the canyon.
So what you hit? 2,400 feet high, around there?
They're telling me about 2,800, something like that.
Holy
I don't
crap.
know. I mean,
and so
and here's the thing: I'm scared to death of heights.
That's what I was just going to say. You're scared of heights.
Yes, it was not pleasant, Norm. It was not pleasant.
So was there a time to where, for people who haven't seen the Snake River Canyon, especially from the air, it's a beautiful sight. Because you got farmlands on each side, then you got the canyon, and you got the mighty snake rolling through, and it's a magnificent sight. Was there any point in time where you were up there and you're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, or was it just?
Well, I'll let you know a little secret. I had never seen the Snake River Canyon in person until I went there with this mission, to cross it.
Right.
So for the 3 years that I've been seeing it, I hadn't really thought about the beauty, because I was scared to death. I said, that's a long way across. That's a long way down. I couldn't really take in the majestic beauty of it because there was always an underlying fear.
Right.
It wasn't until that evening that I got to actually look at it and go, wow, it's really pretty. Because I didn't have this underlying thing like, oh my God, I got to get across it. Or, oh my God, I may end up a permanent monument etched in the side of it. Or there was always an underlying uneasiness about it. It wasn't until finally I could look at it and say, God, that thing is beautiful. So, yeah, it is beautiful, and I do get to enjoy it now and look at it. And then in the back of my mind go, what an idiot I was. I actually strapped myself to a bottle rocket and crossed it. But, no, it is very beautiful, and you're right.
So, you're not a hero. I mean, and you have said this, many times before. And, this couldn't have been done without your team. Scott Truex and company. I mean, they really did a hell of a job in getting you across the Snake River Canyon.
Yes, they did. There's no question about that. I mean, Scott especially, because it was so emotional to him, and it had its own meaning to him. As you know, his father built the original rocket, and it didn't get across. So for Scott, it was very personal to him. Listen, it's like on any team, Joe Montana doesn't win the Super Bowl unless he's got, Jerry Rice catching his passes or
and that offensive line protecting him. Absolutely. It's a team effort.
Yeah. So I've always said, we were a team in the Super Bowl. I just ran it in and took a few hits to get in the end zone.
Right.
But the team is the one that got me there. So, it was a team thing.
So what's next? So you're back to work.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I obviously didn't make any money doing this, so it's right back to the normal for me. I can go to work as a stunt man, do what I got to do, and that's okay. I don't mind. I'm a regular guy. I never did this for fame or fortune, and it's a good thing because at the end of the day, I am not famous and I got no fortune, so it's perfect. I didn't have any false expectations.
That's the beauty, I think, for me, the whole thing is that, you did it your way, you didn't sell out, and, you're going to have the haters. You're going to have the haters wherever you go. And, it's unfortunate, but that's life. But the way you went about your business, and, you had a Twin Falls County councilman, he called you the third-string quarterback of the JV team.
That stuck with me. That's why that was one of the first quotes out of my mouth. That really hurt my feelings.
Oh, absolutely.
This dude who never even met me. It'd be different if he'd met me and said, yeah, this guy's a punk and blah, 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 right? This dude didn't even have the courtesy to meet me first, right?
Right.
And again, this guy is not a regular schmo. He's a representative. He's an elected official, right? So he's got a position of authority, and he comes out publicly saying, "Oh, this is just a junior varsity attempt." I mean, the way he said it was not. I would never speak of somebody like that,
right?
And he did it publicly, and I thank him because it stuck with me. It motivated me. Well, first of all, it hurt me. Let's start with that. It just hurt me, right? I do have feelings. I won't start crying. I won't hand in my man card on your show. But no, dude, I got feelings. And the last thing you want to do is listen to some public guy say, "Oh yeah, this guy's a junior varsity loser trying this." So when I landed, I said, I may be the, I can't change that guy's opinion, nor am I going to try. Right. He has his opinion, whatever. But I felt like I may be that junior varsity third-string, no-name quarterback. But you know what? For me and my family, I just won the Super Bowl, dude. So,
oh, absolutely.
And you want to know the even sadder part, right? The sadder part is this guy could have rose to the occasion. He could have showed up or sent me a varsity jacket. Okay, dude, you lettered. Right, and made a joke of it. He could have done that.
But he hasn't said anything, has he?
He hasn't even reached out or nothing. I mean, I would have laughed my ass off if this guy would have showed up with a varsity jacket. Said, "You know what, dude? You lettered. Congratulations." It would have been fun. It would have been, no. This guy, again, hasn't even had the balls or the backbone to say, "Okay, I feel bad. I called you that, but hey, congratulations." And this is their elected official. So,
right.
You know what? Good luck. They voted him in. Let them have him. And it doesn't matter to me what he thinks, because all that matters is that my kids are proud, I'm proud, and hopefully, the Evel Knievel fans are proud that kind of we all did this together. There's a very good reason my rocket was called the Evil Spirit and not the Eddie Braun.
Right. Evel Knievel fans, I'll tell you what, we're gloating. I mean, it's a monument. It's a huge moment. It's something to be proud of, because the right guy finished the job. And, there could have been others. I mean, there hadn't been up until you. There had been a couple of people that had talked a little bit about it, but I'll tell you what, making that jump, it's a scary deal. I mean, it scared the crap out of Evel Knievel. It scared the crap out of you. And
oh yeah, absolutely. I will not go on record without saying that, yes, I was scared to death.
Oh, absolutely.
There was no macho bravado about me. It was like pure panic and just try and function and do your job under those circumstances. That's it.
It's no little crack in the ground. I mean, it's a big jaunt, you know. And I think the final distance was over 4,700 feet, close to 4,800.
Yeah,
I believe.
Almost literally, I traveled almost literally a mile. So when my friend said, dude, you cleared it by a mile. Well, he's almost correct.
And you would have easily cleared the original jump site.
Excuse me?
You would have easily cleared the original jump site with that jump, too.
Probably twice over, my friend.
Absolutely. And, man, you know, it's going to be a while.
Here's the thing, Norm. Here's the thing. Evel would have easily cleared it if he had just went back and did it again.
Right.
But you know what? Having done it, I can tell you, I totally get why he never went. I would never do it. If they came at me again and threw all kinds of money at me and said do it again, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I would not do it. It was unpleasant from so many different directions that it just ain't worth it.
Right.
And that's when it all goes well. Imagine if it goes bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, it goes bad. Possibly not talking about it. You know, I mean, we're talking death.
Sure.
And, you know.
Well, but you know what? It did go well. And the best part of it, like I said, my kids are thrilled. I look at other kids. That was one of the highlights, too, is when I got to the other side of the canyon. There were, like, these Boy Scouts there and stuff. They were like, wow. I mean, I saw the look on their faces, and wow, that was me at one time when I met Evel Knievel. It's like, that made it worth it. That made it so worth it, is seeing the kids. Maybe, just maybe, they'll remember this day as I did it. It was fond memory. You know, they'll go, wow. I'd like to go back to my childhood when I saw some knucklehead cross a canyon in a little pink rocket. Who knows? I know my kids are proud, and again, that's all I care about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, I want to give a shout out to your team. You know, I've talked to Scott, and I mean, you want to thank him, and you know.
Listen, I could go on and on and on about Scott Truax and everybody, you know, but Scott knows how I feel about him personally. He's just a sweet man, and he's just the guy has a heart of gold, dude.
He does.
Oh, you have no idea.
I've never met him personally, but I've talked to him on the phone a couple different times, and you can hear that over the phone.
Here's a guy that he's just a good guy, man. I mean, the guy, I can go on and on about him, but he's got a heart of gold, and that's the only other way that this thing could have been done, is that I was fortunate enough and blessed enough that I hooked up with a guy that was pure. I mean, listen, he could have easily told me, go for the money, grab the money,
Absolutely.
grab the sponsorship. He easily could have, and he didn't. He stuck true with me and said, let's just do it our way. We kept saying, we've gone rogue. You know, this whole thing, we've gone rogue, because we turned down all the different money, as tempting as it was, and figured he has 2 daughters as well. So he gets the bigger picture. He'd rather do the family name proud, his family name proud, than take the buck and be a little ashamed by it.
Right.
You know, I mean, listen, you could have had Viagra, corporate sponsor like Viagra, right? Offer me $10 million to make that a Viagra rocket, and I wouldn't have been proud of it.
Right.
I'd have been like $10 million richer. But, dude, who would want to fly a Viagra rocket across the canyon dressed in a condom? I mean,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I joke about it, but that's what it was coming down to when you deal with the corporate. It's all business. It's all commerce to them. That's all they care about. And I get it. I understand, but I want no part of it.
Right.
At least not on this project. You know what? for one day, I hope that, look at the news, man. There's wars, there's political craziness. It's just nuts out there, right?
Well, it's crazy because you're supposed to be on Good Morning America on that Monday, but the shooting in New York, the bombs in New York took over, and you never made it on there.
That's right, because that's a guy flying a rocket across the canyon, fulfilling a dream, is not nearly as attention-grabbing as what's on the news.
Right, absolutely.
But I would hope for that brief moment, it doesn't matter your political affiliations, doesn't matter your religious, but for that moment, can we all just band together, and say, wow, that was kind of cool. That was Evel Knievel style. That was kind of cool. Just for a couple moments, It's like mind candy.
Right.
Like I said, what I did was not important on any spectrum as far as like world health or solving problems. But it was kind of cool on the cool scale.
There was no kind ofs about it. It was very cool.
and again, I can't say enough times, I can't please everybody. I couldn't make everybody happy. But you know what? For that day, and my 4 kids were happy. Their dad just flew a rocket across the canyon like his hero.
And he came home.
And that's all I care about, making happy, really. And I succeeded in that, so I'm proud of that.
So there's going to be a documentary made about this. And do we have any like time frame? Do we know of any time frame on the release date for that?
Yeah. First of all, I like to call it a movie, not a documentary.
Okay.
It's a movie. It's a movie that we've been filming for 3.5 years, and people are going to see how hard it was to pull this off. I got extorted multiple times. I got extorted, and we chose, rather than to fight it, to just pay ransom and move on, because fighting it would have stalled the project, which in essence would have killed the project. So along the way, we got extorted several times, not once, not twice, like 3 times or so. I just can't tell you what's happened in the 3.5, 4 years it took to get to that point that everybody saw. It was a nightmare in some ways, and it was a wonderful dream in other ways. I talk about being extorted. What you see in the movie, when you've got a rock god like Slash, who's an Evel Knievel fan, and he wants a part of it, right? He's like, dude, it is so awesome what you're trying to do. I want to be a part of it. When a rock god like Slash re-records a theme song for you, again, how do you quantify that in dollar amounts? It's just so awesome that it's off the awesome chart.
Right.
So all of that is in the documentary or feature film, and all we needed was an ending, right? That's all we needed. We'd gotten everything else. We needed an ending. So we weren't sure if it was going to be a tragic ending or a victorious ending. Well, we found out, a week ago that it was a triumphant ending. It wasn't a tragic one, because they were going to film whatever happened. If I just went splat, they were still going to film it. I told them, make sure you film it all, because my family's going to need any money once the film is done. They said, okay. I actually filmed an alternate ending where I'm sitting talking to the camera in the event that it went bad. I wanted to explain to everybody that, hey, it might have went bad, but it was an epic journey till that point, So the movie's just about done. I suspect in the next couple months, they'll, the movie will be out for those that care, that can go see the movie. Plus, we shot the rocket launch. We shot it like a movie, not like a TV live special. We shot it with slow motion cameras.
Nice.
We shot it. No one has seen the footage that we have shot, and it's incredible. My director called me crying because he said it was so awesome. If you notice, on some of the footage, the news footage, you'll see a little drone in the air.
Yep. Right
when I passed that thing at over 400 miles an hour, and it's a slow motion camera.
Oh wow!
We have footage It's incredible, and it will be in the movie. So those that care, anybody can care, see the whole story and all of that, there'll be a movie out soon.
Can't wait for that. So one last deal. I gotta ask you about a picture you posted on Facebook here last week, and it was a picture of a young Eddie Braun with a young Chuck Norris, Charlie Sheen, and Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what I want to know is, I know working in professional baseball, the players are just normal dudes like you and me. And so what I want to know is you've worked with Charlie Sheen for over 30 years, and you see what the media has portrayed Charlie Sheen to be. I want to know, what kind of man is Charlie Sheen? I mean, he's a dear friend of yours, I know.
Well, let me start out by saying Charlie Sheen is like the best friend you could ever pray to have. The dude is just awesome beyond awesome, right? He's a great, great guy. Now, that being said, because Charlie and I are polarly opposites in a lot of things.
Right.
Right? From politics to religion to whatever. We're just polarly opposite, and that's okay. I wouldn't want to surround myself with people that just think like me. That would be really bad. I like to say, here's how I like to say about Charlie. The guy is nuts, but I love him to death. That's the best way to put him. The guy thinks outside of the box in ways that mere mortals can't comprehend. He's very, I'll tell you one thing a lot of people don't know about Charlie Sheen. He's very compassionate. He's got a heart, man. He really cares about things. And people don't get that because they see the exterior, fluff about him.
Right.
But he is an awesome friend, dude. You know how many times, I'll never forget one of my injuries years ago. I was injured in the hospital, doubling him. I had to go to the hospital. Dude, he came in and wrote me a check for like $2 million, $1 million, something like that, for me to stop doing stunts. He's always tried to get me to stop doing stunts. He says, dude, I'll pay off whatever if you just stop doing stunts. And I said, Charles, I appreciate it. I probably have maybe half a dozen of his checks, like 7-figure checks, handsome ones, to stop doing stunts. I said, nah, dude, I gotta, I do what I do. You do what you do, and we're buddies. And that's okay, but you can't pay me to stop doing what I love. But the guy wanted to pay me to stop doing stuff. That's the guy. I like to say Charlie's the buddy that would give you the shirt off his back.
Okay.
And the reason I know this is because my closet is full of his shirts. No, he's just an awesome. And on the dude scale, you couldn't have a more awesome, buddy. The dude's just awesome.
Right. So I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. I'm going to put Brian on the spot as well. And so, Brian, are you ready, Brian?
Sure.
So, Eddie, what is your favorite Charlie Sheen movie? Do you have a favorite one that's Charlie's in?
Absolutely. Beyond a shot. I actually have two. All right?
Okay.
You ready for them?
Absolutely.
Okay. The first one is a movie we did called Navy SEALs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It's a dude film, but we had so much fun filming it. And it was us with actual SEALs hanging out, traveling the world, doing some bitchin' things, and it was just an awesome time. I love that film and what we had fun doing. And then the other one, by far none, and you're gonna laugh, but it was awesome. Major League, man. You just cannot beat the Major League movie.
That's my favorite. Now, what I want to know was that you that were on Navy SEALs that jumped off the bridge into the water?
Yes, it was, and there's a story behind that. But yes, that was me. But that was only one of. God, I did so many stunts in that movie.
I like that movie too. I really do. I mean,
I love that movie. That jump. Or attempt at a dive. There's a story behind that, right?
Okay.
You got 2 seconds? You want me to tell you? Or you want to cut?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So we start the movie, and we got these real SEALs, and these guys are the real deal, right? They're the tough asses. And they need us, these stunt guys. Who are these punk ass stunt Hollywood dudes, right? So, at first it was this, male chest beating, who's the tougher, whatever, right? And I'm thinking there is no competition because these are SEALs.
Right.
These are the real guys, trained killers. So they affectionately gave us all nicknames, the stunt guys. And mine, the one they gave me was Micro Lung. They called me Micro Lung because I just could not hold my breath underwater as long as these guys could. So they affectionately called me Micro Lung. That was my name, right? So we get ready to set up this stunt, and it's 100 feet. It's 96 feet from the bridge to the water below.
Wow.
And I'm going to be in a car going 30 miles an hour sideways. Okay, so it's kind of you're jumping, you're going sideways. It's just a whole lot of not pleasant ugliness. So the SEALs, they're telling me, okay, when we exit helicopters, there's these like tables they have. Okay, 30-30, 40-30, these different tables. When you go out, you go feet first and you tuck your arms together and I said, wait, feet first? No, you got to go out feet first. You tuck your feet in. Dude, I'm doubling the hero movie, and I'm a stunt guy. I ain't going out feet first. They go, yeah, right, whatever. That's a long way down. You go feet first. I said, yeah, okay. So we get up there, and we go, and we're going, 30 miles an hour, and, I hear rolling, and actually, you just got to go for it. So I dove, right? Actually knocked me out. I dove. Okay, so they fished me out of the water. They checked. I had 2 black eyes, blah, blah, blah. From that point on the rest of the movie, not one SEAL called me Micro Lung. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to go for it, it doesn't matter if you're a SEAL or a stunt guy or a janitor. When it's time to go for it, you just got to go for it. And that's the story of that jump. I was never called Micro Lung after that jump. Those SEAls, man, they're great guys, dude. They're the real deal.
Oh, they are the real deal.
In Hollywood, in Hollywood, we're just posers. But for that movie, it was just great. We were all one on that movie, and it was great. So that's the story of that one.
Brian, so what was your favorite? You nodded at Major League, but I don't know. Is that your favorite Charlie Sheen movie?
It is. You guys, you said them, both of them, right there. I mean, Eddie, you got it right. That's it. What more do you want? What more do you need? It's good stuff.
That is Navy SEALs. That is a great. I do. I'm gonna go home and watch that again now.
What time? I'll be there.
I'll let you in on something, though. We're trying really hard to get the band back together and do another Major League. They're trying really hard to figure it out with all the OGs. They just I think it may be being written. I think they're figuring it out, but I think everybody involved wants to do another Major League. With a bunch of the old guys now, and we'll see where that leads us to, right?
Wesley Snipes and Corbin Burnson. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, hey, if we could pull Dennis Haysbert around away from his insurance, what Mr. Good Hands or whatever the hell he's doing now. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, knowing that everybody wants to do it, that there's not going to be another Major League with all the original guys.
Well, Sweet Lou, the guy that played the manager, he passed away here a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
What a sweet guy. So, I don't know. There's a lot of smarter guys than me trying to figure out how they would do a Major League 4. But I know everybody wants it. I know Charlie wants to. I know we all do. I don't look forward to that. I don't look forward to that awful haircut, but I don't mind the paychecks.
Right. So once again, Mr. Eddie Braun jumped the Snake River Canyon in outside of Kimberly, Idaho, Hanson, Idaho here last Friday successfully. He was able to walk away. And if you could sum up the whole return to Snake River Canyon experience in one word, what would it be?
Thank God. That's 2 words.
Fair enough.
So what?
Fair enough, man. Thank you. As a fan and a kid who grew up around there, and those are my old stomping grounds. man, I'm still smiling, and my wife is annoyed, and I know that there are bigger and better things, bigger things going on in life, but you know what?
Well,
you made a lot of people smile.
Well, Norm, Brian, both of you guys, thanks for having me. Listen, I hope your audience, I didn't put them to sleep right now, but you know what? Thanks for having me. Thanks for all of that. And yeah, I would sum it up in 2 words. Thank God. Because for me, it was the ride of a lifetime.
Oh,
and I mean
man.
that not just physically, but just in life, man. In life. It was a ride of when I'm an old guy talking about, you know what I mean? I'll say, hey, there was a time I crossed the canyon in a dinky little rocket. And that's pretty cool to me.
So are you guys talking about debuting the movie in Twin Falls?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to. Listen, those people took me in. They treated me as, most of them, not all of them, but
Right.
most of them took as a very welcome guest. And I would love nothing more than to let them have the first look at it. So
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, if I had my druthers, absolutely, I'd have all the people in Twin Falls see it first. But I don't know. I'm not the grown-up making that decision.
Right.
But I certainly am going to weigh in on it a little bit, But we'll see. The movie's coming out. Hey, one last thing, right?
Absolutely.
Since you're a sports show. If anybody knows, I have someone I'm dying to meet, right? I just got to find somebody that knows the guy.
Okay.
And one of my sports heroes, and it's not just because of his abilities, but the type of guy that he is, would be Tim Tebow, right?
Oh,
if
yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
out there knows Tim Tebow, just I'd love to just shake the dude's hand. I'm impressed with the dude. I'm just throwing that out there. You got a sports show. So if anybody out there knows Mr. Tebow, tell him he has a big fan in me because I followed that guy's career. And more importantly, the type of man he is.
Well,
to me, that's the hero.
Lucky for you, I happen to know a couple of people in the Mets organizations. I'll see what I can pull off. I'm just the little guy, but I'll kind of put a bug in their ear and we'll see what happens.
Hey, Norm, you're just like me. I'm a little guy too, but a guy like Tim Tebow is a guy just like me. I respect him. I respect his abilities, but more importantly, I respect him as a man.
Yes, the person that he is.
That's the kind of guy. So I'd be thrilled to be in the same room with the guy. If anybody knows him, just tell him I said hello.
We'll see what we can do. I'll put some bugs in some people's ears and see where it goes from there. So,
okay, brother. Thank you, Brian. Thank you again, Norm, for having me on your show. And, be well.
All right. Hey, thank you, Eddie. We'll chat with you later.
Take care, guys.
All right, bye. Once again, Mr. Eddie Braun on the show. Man, Brian, I mean, it's still a really cool thing, and I'm still chatting about it.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, Eddie did a pretty cool thing that, he could have made millions and millions of dollars on, and he didn't, which is probably more impressive than the actual jump, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's my thought, too. So let's get on with some breaking news. If you haven't heard, this morning, news was broken that 24-year-old Jose Fernandez of the Miami Marlins had passed away in a boating accident. This one kind of hit me kind of hard, Brian. I mean, for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, as you see the picture, I mean, the guy had $1 million smile. And the story of him coming to the United States from Cuba, it's a great story. How he had to jump off the boat and rescue his mom, and I don't know too many of the details right now, but as we'll find out as he come on. But 38-15 in his major league career with a 2.57 ERA, 24 years old. One of the most electric pitchers in the game. The kid could hit. He loved life. He was huge in Miami. And from what I'm hearing is a few of the cops that responded to the accident this morning actually knew him. And So tough deal all the way around. And man, how do you Miami? I don't know where they're at in the playoff hunt. I think they're a few games out of the wild card, but this has got to hit hard. And so we're thinking about Jose Fernandez and his family and the Major League Baseball family today on this beautiful Sunday morning here in Amity, Oregon. It's supposed to be about 85 to 90 degrees today. Here we are at the end of September. Brian, what do you got?
Shocked that actually it's supposed to be 85, 90 degrees today. So I better get something done. That's what I'm thinking.
So I'm Norm. That is Brian. This is Clubhouse Chatter. We're kind of starting to stray away from baseball a little bit. I mean, we're still doing the baseball stuff, but kind of human interest stories. If you got a great human interest story that you want to share, get in touch with us. And we'd love to talk to you about coming on Clubhouse Chatter and sharing your story. And so next week, it sounds like we're going to have Scott Gregg on the show, former national NFL player for the New York Giants, who's assistant football coach over at McNary High School in Kaiser, Oregon. Will come on the show and talk about his experiences. And Clubhouse Chatter is brought to you by baseballisms.com. If you like the shirt or the hat I'm wearing, baseballisms.com. Baseball Dudes, if you like Brian's hat, baseballdudes.com. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver, Washington. Also by Mitch Canham and Base by Pros, building an athlete's sports education. Mitch Canham, hot off of a playoff appearance with his Clinton Lumber Kings, did a great job his first year as a manager. And his dad, Mark Canham, does our shirts for Clubhouse Chatter. Check them out, MDM Designs, for all your printing needs. And we stream live every week on yamhilltoday.com. Hey, if you want to, if you got a story to share, if you want to sponsor us, hey, shoot me a message at normbo18@gmail.com. I'll get back to you with you as soon as I can. And we are on Twitter, Clubhouse Chatter 1T, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes. What else? MLB.com blogs. Hey, you probably just do a search and Clubhouse Chatter will pop up. So I'm Norm. That is the man, Brian. And, without this, it's not possible. Thank you. Try not to suck. And, hey, go watch some baseball. And thanks for watching.